What the hell happened to this channel? Welcome to this show, folks, where I'm going to read some comments at random. Sometimes I like to just do these types of shows. I don't have enough comments anymore to do a handsome donkey show. Used to, on a daily basis, I could collect a dozen or 2 dozen really mean comments or nasty comments. I call them colorful comments. Interesting comments. But since I started doing the handsome donkey shows, the donkeys don't want to hee-haw anymore. It seems that when people hit you in the face, they don't want to get hit back, metaphorically speaking. Not advocating any type of violence here on my show. But people who do these, I call them drive-by hatred. You know, they just stop by your show long enough to belt out something to try to hurt your feelings. Those people don't like when you hit them back. They're the types that if they ever get called out, they delete their comment and think that they got away scot-free. But when you do this on a video, they can't delete my video. They can delete their comment, but they're still memorialized until the end of time or until World War III takes out Google's servers or a massive EMP. Anyhow, so I don't get the interesting comments anymore that I used to. Word got around, hey, this dude will profile you, and they don't seem to like that too much. So without further ado, again, this is not a handsome donkey show. I'm just pulling some random comments. This morning I was in there testing out my rice cooker that I haven't used in years. Last time we used that rice cooker in there, Big Pumpkin was here and we were cooking. So I was testing out the rice cooker because I'm going to cook myself a Thanksgiving dinner. I got shrimp and vegetables in there raring to go, and I may do it live, so stay tuned. Just depends on what kind of mood I'm in, because I'm spending Thanksgiving by myself, away from the children and the old lady. So anyhow, I'm just going to read some comments, and I want to thank y'all very much for leaving comments. They truly help us out here with the algorithm. You know, the algorithm is all about maintaining your eyeballs on YouTube's platform. YouTube don't care if you're on my show or somebody else's show. All YouTube cares about is that you stay on their platform and you interact with the platform. So the more comments you leave, the happier the Google squirrels are. The Google squirrels inside that computer, they control whether or not I eat lobster or rice. So please leave your comments. What the hell happened to this channel? With the laughing smiley emoji face. You know, I see a lot of these comments lately. Hey man, this shit's boring now. You got to go back to drinking. Your views are down. Your subscribers are up, but your views are down. So I just thought that was interesting. I don't think he said it to be mean. He's just joking. What the hell happened, right? And it's on the video where the Ciroc girls are eating, right? Some of you find my Ciroc girls lovely, and some of you don't. We all have different opinions about women. So anyhow, again, I don't take that as a bad comment, but it's an interesting comment. You know, what the hell has happened to this channel? And what I wanted to talk about is what exactly is a YouTube channel? It's a lot like most small businesses. Okay? It's one dude, it's one guy or one gal running that Instagram account, that YouTube account, that small business. You know, whether or not they have 2 or 3 employees, you know, say a small bakery. Maybe you got 2 or 3 employees, but they're not interested in going the long term or how the bakery's doing. They want to come put their 8 hours in, get their check, do as least amount of work as they can and go home. It's one person The owner of that bakery is the business. You can take out several elements of that small bakery and it can still operate as long as that one person is still there. Does that make sense? All the employees can quit. The oven can go down for the day. A pipe can start leaking. As long as that one person is there, that business will continue to operate. So really, one person is the business on a much grander scale. With SpaceX, Tesla, Starlink, the Boring Company, whatever he has going on, would any of those entities be around without Elon Musk? Nope. Now, they're big enough on a scale that if, he had to step out for whatever reasons or personal reasons or just wanted to retire, they would continue to operate. They would struggle because he was and is the business. Now that's mixing apples and oranges, but you see what I mean, right? When they started out, it was one guy driving that train. So what is a YouTube channel? Most of these channels are just one dude driving the bus or one gal, and if something happens to that one guy or gal, that's the end of that YouTube channel for a lot of the channels. Even if somebody picks it up and continues on, usually it just tanks. That's what I've personally seen. Now, what's my vision? That's actually the exact opposite of what my vision is. I'm thinking more of a 30-year planning horizon here. So what has happened? What has happened is that the lifestyle of this one guy right here, this guy right here, is the driving force behind this. This show has been, is, and always will be, until I turn it over, about my life living on what I call the Overstay Road. Has my life evolved from the first video I posted in 2012? Obviously. The only thing certain in life is change. So obviously since 2012, if any of you have been with me since that first video I posted to just promote a book that I wrote. Obviously every video is an evolution. There are time periods where I hate to use the word content, but that's what people call it these days. I'm from the 80s. We didn't use the word fucking content. The only thing content was table of contents. Now, this show, this footage is table of contents. No, it's content. I'm a content creator, what people say we are. I reject that. I'm a filmmaker. Anyhow, damn, lost my train of thought. That's what happens when you get this old. Anyhow, there are time periods where the shows are very similar in the topic and the genre because that's what I was doing at that time period in my life. You go back far enough, I was sitting in bars, live streaming, talking about, the mysteries of life and looking at girls go by. That evolved into, doing a lot of cooking shows. It evolved into different girls. There were different characters at different stages. This show is basically a running documentary of my life. It's obviously has changed and is going to continue to change. So what you realize is that you'll build a subscriber base if I'm doing these types of videos for 6 months. And then when you change or you move, I've even seen it when we moved houses. We would lose people. Why? Because you get used to seeing a certain set of characters, and that's the show. And when you change it so drastically, some people aren't interested anymore. And I give this analogy all the time. Sanford and Son. Love that show. Grew up watching Sanford and Son. What if Sanford and Son moved to a penthouse condo and they no longer ran the junkyard and they were no longer poor? How many people would continue to watch the show? Cheers. Y'all who grew up watching Cheers, right? You know what I'm talking about. What if Cheers suddenly changed the bar and got rid of 2 or 3 characters? It's the end of the show for most of us. So I've experienced those segments where I'll build viewership, move or change what I'm doing or change my lifestyle, and I lose people, and then I gain new ones. But I think that over the long term, that's what prevents my show from totally jumping the shark. Jumping the shark, I've explained it many times. It's an analogy where Fonzie jumped the shark and then the show supposedly tanked. I know there's all debate around it, but that's what the term is, jumping the shark. How long can a show survive? How long can it operate? I think if you're doing the same damn thing over and over and over, at some point, you're done. With anything, you have to keep innovating and you have to keep changing. And so that's what I do. Some people quit watching when Helen of Troy left. Some people quit watching when Janice left. Some people quit watching when we left the village. 2 years of living down there was enough for me. It was enough. I had to get out. I had to move on. I'm 52. I've got about 20 good Christmases left to where I'm agile and I can get around and do what I want to do before I start slowing down a little bit. So, back to what has happened to this channel. Substitute the word channel for what has happened to this guy. It's just called life. And especially with my lifestyle, I'm not the type of guy to work in a factory for 30 years, live in the same house, and you always look at the same scenery. It's always going to change with me. So what has happened? Just changes. Just changes, and changes with the algorithm as well. I'm going to do a separate video talking about how YouTube's algorithm and a few settings really put a hurting on me this year until some of you fine folks brought it up, and I dealt with that. Still recovering from that. When I say the Google squirrels control everything here, it's a computer. Obviously the computer controls everything. And they decide whose thumbnail is going to get shown to an audience. And it's like a bookstore. You take your books up there to the bookstore, but if the bookstore owner don't put them on the shelf on display, ain't nobody ever going to see your book. Be the best seller, best book in the world. If it's back in the stock room, nothing's going to happen. So anyhow, thanks for your comment, man. What happened to this channel? It's called life. It's called life. And again, I don't take that as a derogatory comment, but there has been a lot of commentary lately, and that's why I figured I'd bring that up. Okay? So I don't think I'm doing anything different. Because with me, it's like life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. You never know what you're going to get. Right now, I'm sober as a judge. I got 3 beers in that refrigerator. And over Thanksgiving, I might drink them. Then you're obviously going to get something different. You're going to see a different dude, like old Tommy on Landman said. What'd he say? He said, he was trying to tell the bartender that light beer or Michelob Ultra ain't alcohol. He said, yeah, man, there's alcohol in that. He said, man, there's more alcohol in orange juice. He said, okay, let me drink 6 of them whiskeys and 6 of them beers and see which guy you want to deal with. Anyhow, so thank you very much for the comment, man. You just gave me 20 minutes to talk about. Of something to talk about. Thank you. Ben Franklin said, fish and relatives smell in 3 days. Now, I always use this analogy. My best friend's dad, who's a awesome dude, very intelligent, successful guy, but he's also a player. But he's got this saying, and I've heard it for years. It's just what he said. He said, you know, friends and family can come stay at your house. They're okay to hang around for a day or so, but after that, they're like fish. They start to stink. Now, I didn't know that Ben Franklin said that. But according to my friend, and buddy, I think you're 83 years old. I think you left the comment. I didn't know that Ben Franklin said that. So maybe that's where my buddy's father got the saying from. Maybe he got it from his dad, what have you. But that's true. Fish and relatives, they smell in 3 days. Okay, and let's see right here. Now this is from Jose. And I think Jose leaves these comments that sometimes don't make sense. And I'm starting to believe that, Jose, you're either using Google Translate or you know, just English is not your primary language. And if that's the case, folks, when you try to leave a comment and not in your primary language, you're not going to be perfect all the time. And a lot of times your stuff is not going to make sense. You know, when I try to speak Thai, when I try to speak Spanish, I know I'm not always making sense because sometimes people are laughing. But this is on the video cooking show. Who's that girl cooking breakfast? So again, the ladies are over cooking breakfast. Big Pumpkin. Well, I was there. Your wife, crew, nobody want to be your wife friends. Your wife don't have friends. You pay them money to be your wife friend. For one day, you wrong, man. Scamming people to paying them to be your wife's friend. That's wrong. What you doing, man? Nobody in the Philippines women don't like your wife. Is that why you paid? Oh, is that why you paid people to be your wife? Friend, that's a very long way. You going to hell. Dang, Jose. And again, Jose, if you're using Google Translate, man, I would make the assumption you're speaking Spanish. Jose Ortiz, I would assume that you're a Spanish speaker. Maybe that's not correct, but with the English and grammar, it's either Google or English is your second language. I'm not paying those girls anything to be my old lady's friend. They're a wonderful group of ladies, and not to get into any too far into people's personal business, but they are either caretakers or parents of special needs children, and therefore they have a lot in common with Fatima. They experience a lot of the same issues, and they're a perfect group of friends for her because she can ask questions and they can talk and vent. You know, about that set of circumstances when you have a special needs child. If you don't know this about me, folks, my son has autism. He's autistic. He's on the spectrum. I don't know what the current politically correct term is. I just throw the word autism out there. Okay? Again, when I was growing up, initially I remember back in the 70s, you said people were crippled. That was acceptable. And then I think it turned to handicapped, and then it turned to physically challenged. I just throw, hey, boom, my son has autism. Put that in your pipe, smoke it. I don't give a fuck if that's proper terminology or not. Really don't care. But back to these ladies. I'm not paying them, man. I'm not paying them to come over. Everybody brings, a dish or some snacks or food, whatever. They were all doing this at a different location every morning. But we live close by, so I said, hey, just tell everybody to come over to the house. Come over to the house, y'all can cook. Now you don't got to sit up there and eat out of a Tupperware thing. Just tell everybody to come over to the house and cook. Have a good time. They can cook. We got Wi-Fi, got the TV, everybody just come over and hang out in the mornings. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not costing me any money. What the induction cooker's costing me a few pesos? The old lady's got to cook anyhow, so it's not costing me anything. I'm not paying these ladies nothing. They're friends. They just get together in the mornings and they cook breakfast and they eat. That's her morning routine. That's her morning crew. And I'm very thankful that she has that morning crew to hang out with. I'm quite happy that she's got a bunch of friends now, especially friends that have that in common. And they're also from down near where she's from. They all speak Bisaya, so she can chat people in her own language. So I'm going to hell. Brother, if I'm going to hell, it ain't for that. Trust me. Trust me, I got a lot worse stuff to overcome than inviting some nice people over for breakfast every morning. So if I'm standing in hell, it'll be because of some shit in my past that I deserve. I deserve to be there. But I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best not to be standing in hell. Lord willing, I'll be up there in the promised land. It's one of those things where I'm confident that the good outweighs the bad. So if you put it on a scale, I'm going to heaven. But I damn sure ain't going there because of my old lady's friends. My goodness. All right, so moving right along. But thanks for the comment, man. Thank you very much for the comment. You just gave me 10 minutes of something to talk about. I appreciate you. Okay, this is from my buddy Ray. Hey, buddy, how you doing, man? Haven't seen you in a while. Hope you're doing well. And this is just about the video where I was talking about should you stay with your Filipino wife's family if you're coming over to the Philippines to visit for Christmas. Should you stay at her family's house and save the money? And my position is no. Get you a hotel for many reasons. Watch the video. So he's commenting on that. And I was telling the story from a perspective that, my old lady's from the village. Okay, a bamboo shack. Obviously, I don't want to stay there. Have I? I've stayed there many nights. Can I? Of course I can. But the average canoe is not going to be comfortable staying in a village in the middle of a sugarcane field, and that's why I just took the position, no, get you a hotel. Okay, so Ray says we stay in a hotel, not at the family home, although they're all professionals, so he has the option to stay in a decent place with the family, but he chooses not to because I appreciate some privacy and independence. And I want to go bar hopping with my mates. That's a great example, right? Because if you're staying at your old lady's home, you can't, 9 o'clock, you can't be like, okay, I'm rolling out. Where you going? Lollipop. When you gonna be back? Yeah, probably tomorrow about 4 or 5, maybe 6, 7 in the morning, sometime after breakfast. Now, you need your privacy. You don't want to let her family know you're going out bar hopping with your mates, your buddies. Just none of their business, right? So anyhow, shout out to you, Ray. Again, man, hope you're doing well. I think I'll save this gentleman for last. Got Steven. Steven's gonna roast me, so I'll save Steven for last. He's gonna roast me about something. Okay, and then this is on the same video, and what my friend here says is, I'm starting to realize my peace does not include family time. If you are not married to a Filipina, feel free to disagree. If you are married to a Filipina, find your peace. All right, thank you very much for that comment. A lot of people think that if you leave your home country and you move to your new wife or fiance or girlfriend's country, whether it's the Philippines or Thailand or Cambodia or Guatemala, wherever, you initially, if you're naive, and naive doesn't mean you're stupid, it just means you're not aware of certain things, right? Don't take that in the wrong way. If you move there, you can easily be fooled into thinking that you have to conform and acquiesce, is that the word, to 100% of that girl's culture. Well, I'm living in her country, when in Rome, do as the Romans. I say that a lot, but I say that in a different context to say you have to know how to go with the flow so you don't get yourself in trouble or cause yourself any hardships, right? That's going with the flow. But just because you move to the Philippines does not mean you are Filipino, nor are you ever going to be Filipino. If you move to Thailand, it doesn't mean you have to be Thai or try to be Thai, and you're never going to be Thai, especially if you're at our age. You're not going to change. You're American, she's Thai. You're American, she's Filipina. You're in an interracial or intercultural, however you want to look at it, relationship. It doesn't mean that 100% of the way you live your life has to be her culture in her country. It's 50-50. I'm an American, she's Filipina. We're going to split it right down the middle. And however y'all find that balance is how you have to find it. So what this gentleman is saying, he's saying, you know what? I realize when I go over to her family's house, it's not my peaceful time. It's fucking stress. But again, if you go to any in-law's house, anywhere in the world, in America, if you go to your in-law's house, do you have a good time? Some of y'all may, some of y'all don't. You just tolerate it, right? It's not your peaceful time. You do it because of your wife. I want to say you have to. You don't have to. But what he's saying is that, especially when you retire, you have to find the peace for yourself and you have to put limits on it. Y'all saw me down for 2 years, spent a lot of time around her family every day, a lot of time in her village. Okay? That was enough for me. That was enough. If we ever move back down there, it'll be more of a once a month family day, not every weekend. It'll be once a month. For this guy at least. Why? Because I would rather spend my Saturday or Sunday doing something that I really want to do. Now that's difficult when you have kids, because I've said before, I want the kids to go over there to grandma's every Sunday. But if I move back down there, it'd have to be modified. And that, if you understand where I'm coming from right now, it aligns with him to say, hey, find your peace. You don't have to acquiesce to what that girl wants to do or what her culture says 100% of the time. It's 50-50, and you have to find that peace. I'll give you for example. What I tell Big Pumpkin, and we butt heads about every now and then, hey, once you step through these gates, this is the kingdom of Marquitos. When I walk into my palace, I want to hear fucking country music. I don't want to hear Tagalog love stories. I don't want to hear Bisaya fucking monster stories about the ghosts and this and that. I don't want to hear that shit. You know why? Because when I leave those gates, I'm immersed in your culture and your country, and I don't have a choice. That's plenty. So when I come home, I want my peace. I want to be listening to some Jason Aldean or George Strait or Merle Haggard. In the mornings, I crank up Conway Twitty. I don't want to hear Tagalog love songs, and I don't want to hear Islands in the Stream or fucking Whitney Houston. That don't give me peace. And so that's the boundaries that I set. Does that make sense? Because the minute you leave that gate, whether you like it or not, her culture and her ways are imposed upon you. I sort of got off on a tangent, but a lot of y'all who acquiesce to everything she wants to do, you don't live there. And so it's different, right? Okay, and I just did a video talking about if you're going to visit for Christmas, and this is the first time the girl's been home in 3 years, you should blow it out. Check out that video. It's got a lot of good information in it. You should let her blow it out and be the good Kano, but again, with a balance to where you don't go out of your mind. All right, and this goes right along with the same video. Again, I just pulled these at random, and they were just recent. So several ones from the same video. And this gentleman says, timely, old son. Yeah, I'll be in the province over Christmas, but it will be 1 to 2 days tops with the family in the hills. And there's a local hotel with a pool for the 3 other days. There you go. Talking about a balance. He's going to sacrifice his peace and serenity for 2 days. The other 3, his ass is going to be in the pool soaking up some rays. That's quite fair. I actually love the lowdown camping, but I agree. And what I was saying was that going to my old lady's village is like camping, except camping in America is better living conditions than going to her village. It's just the way it is. But I agree the family will be glad for me to get out so they can stop worrying. I'm looking forward to the trip after watching this. I was kind of 50-50, but I'm looking forward to set the tone for me. Let my lady enjoy the bonding. Treat the crew with Jollibee, Red Horse, and Emperador, and I'll get a kuya to get the old cowboy back to town for some me time. Hell yeah. All right, well, thank you very much for the comment, and I hope the video did help set your mind at ease, and look forward to the trip. And again, referring back to the past video, a lot of people, when they go visit in-laws, no matter where you're at in the world, they don't look forward to it. They don't look forward to it, but a lot of it has to do with not setting the conditions and the limits where you don't get to the point where you get pissed off or you have a bad time. You just set them limits. He just set them. He said, hey, 2 days up in the hills, I like camping. The other 3 is for you. I'm going to be down at the pool drinking beer, working on my tan. Everybody's happy on that trip. Versus go try to spend the whole time around her family in the village. You won't want to come back. All right, and this is from my buddy, Old 83, married 48 and a half years. Man. Went to lunch with 6 of my wife's very well-off friends at an upscale restaurant in Mactan, Newtown. As usual, I sat there and listened to dialect, understanding nothing, which is fine with me. Man, I love reading your comments. Folks, again, this gentleman is 83 years old, been married 48 and a half years. Please keep sending the comments, my friend. I certainly enjoy your comments and your perspective on things. Let's see. Okay, and one more comment from the last video. As the gentleman talking about, I agree 100%. When we go to the province, I do the same thing. I take 4 buckets of chicken and 4 family packs of spaghetti from Jollibee and a couple of cases of San Mig. The men love the San Miguel because all year long they just drink Red Horse, really harsh, cheap beer. I agree. Red Horse's tagline is extra strong. It's extra strong. But if you've never been to the Philippines, let me say something. Don't drink the Red Horse. At least don't go out and be like, yeah, let me just hit a couple Red Horses. Every dispute or fight or domestic, any type of violence that I've ever witnessed in that country, the events had one thing in common. The participants were drinking Red Horse. Now look, my dad drank Red Horse and he said it was smooth. He loves the taste. He loves drinking Red Horse and it just mellowed him out. I can't drink it. The last time I got drunk on Red Horse, according to them, I said Jesus told me to go mountain climbing. It was about midnight. I left out with nothing but a pair of shorts on and my guitar. And a whole slew of people tried to get me off that mountain, and the only thing that brought me down was gravity. So I woke up the next day with some injuries. I was picking grass and gravel out of my guitar for a week. No more Red Horse for this guy. I don't want to go mountain climbing, in my shorts with my guitar anymore. So I don't recommend you drink that unless you're a really, really hard drinker, but it just has something ingredient. It's sort of like the same thing that tequila will do. You know how a lot of people get mean on tequila? I mean, you can pick your liquor, but Red Horse just has something. Drink it carefully. All right. Really harsh, cheap beer. Yeah. I don't touch that shit no more. My gosh. I never liked the taste of it ever. The reason that I got drunk on it that night is because it was in the middle of the lockdown. They had those alcohol bans going on. And to buy booze where I was at was basically like going around buying dope. You pull up to somebody's house, you flash the lights, you hit the horn, you look in there, they're looking around, because people were getting busted. I mean, hell, there was, not where we live, but down south, was it Bohol? Anyhow, they had a damn hearse, got caught going through a checkpoint loaded down with booze. It was just insanity, right? So that's the only reason I drank it, because I had no choice. We pulled up to that place. I thought I was going to get some San Mig Light. They did the old flash. My man went up there. He comes back. He's like, hey, man, all they got is Red Horse. It's my only option. I said, fucking buy it. Went back, got drunk on that balcony. Next thing you know, I probably didn't make it 50 meters up that mountain before I came tumbling down, but I was trying my damnedest according to them. Francis, Big Pumpkin, Faye, I think Faye's son. I don't know if Janice was out there. Anyhow, it was a debacle. Anyhow, back to the comment. I spend the day sitting on the porch, no air conditioning, talking with the men. They don't understand me, but that's okay. And talking about understanding, I guess what I left out to say was that if you're a drinker, You'll have a great time staying with your wife, with her family, whatever, because drunks understand other drunks. It's an international language. I'll be talking about this, they're talking about that, we're all laughing, we got no idea, and we don't care when we're drinking. But if you don't drink, and you sit there and you watch a room full of people drink and speak in another language, my God, all you want to do is leave. So that's what happened to me. When I was drinking, I could hang out with that crew over there, laugh my ass off, and when I sobered up, I was like, this is boring as fuck, I'm ready to go. Literally. I was like, let me get my footage, y'all eat, let's get the hell out of here. As soon as Big Pumpkin eat that last bite, okay, pack it up, we're going. We dispersed the gifts for all the kids and our gift for her mother. Then I go to the hotel. Just an evening in the hotel allows me to recharge with the air con, a shower, use a toilet that actually flushes, and some Western food. I don't care for the lechon, but I eat the rice, fruit salad, and a cup of Kopiko, the little coffee. The family is gracious to me, but honestly, they're more interested in seeing my wife. I go to the graveyard to visit her father's grave and place some flowers, and that's pretty much it when he goes to visit at Christmas. So thank you very much for the comment, my friend. And I hope y'all learned some of y'all learned a few points through the comments. I always say, my videos a lot of times just set the forum, and you learn everything down in the comments. All I'm doing is setting a forum like a chat board. Haven't watched you for some time. See, you're up over 160,000 subs now, but capital letters, your views are pretty stagnant with fewer than 5,000 views for most recent videos, question mark. Seems odd, don't you think? More subs by over 100,000 and fewer views by a lot. How many subs did you buy? Okay, so let me stop right there. I did a video a while back, and it was something about I lost 200 subscribers. Is it time to panic? You can check out that video. I guess people just don't care about your videos anymore, or maybe they just don't want to watch a fraud. And look, man, you were doing okay till you came out with the word fraud. But let's go. Good old family man, single dad, escaping to Thailand once a quarter to get his mongering in. Now, if I was back doing the Handsome Donkey Awards, you would get the Mongo McMongo Award for using the word mongering. Because I have no idea what that fucking word means. I looked it up, and I can't remember. But I made a Mongo McMongo Award. You know, sometimes I really wish I had these Handsome Donkey comments, because it was worth the time putting those sound effects and those graphics. But, you know, anybody who used the word mongering, I'd give them the Mongo McMongo, you know, the cat, the purring cat. Let me read it. Let me finish this comment and I'll go back. And doing all the e-begging YouTube tricks, live streams for those super chats, membership offers and members only videos with 3 laughing emojis. Buy me coffee can't be too far away. Where do I begin? Watch a fraud. You know, I read a quote one time. It was a tweet on Twitter. I talk about this a lot. Matter of fact, I was sitting right out there. I was sitting right out there by that pool when I read it. This is a long time ago when I used to fuck around on Twitter. And basically, I just get drunk and send out bullshit, right, for my own entertainment. So I read this quote, and it was a young black gentleman from America. Just a young kid, probably 18, 19 years old. And the tweet said, Ain't nothing real on the internet, comma, homie, period. And the context was we'd found out that this account, that this dude was acting like it was his real life. It turned out it was just some guy making this shit up. He wrote a book about it. I can't remember anything further than that, but it was all fake. And everybody's like, no, because they thought this dude was real. And that was his quote. Ain't nothing real on the internet, comma, homie, period. I use that a lot. I think on the authenticity level, on the authenticity scale, I'm probably in the top 1% of motherfuckers who are authentic. Now, I don't put everything about my life on here. I don't explain everything about my life. I don't have to. This is an entertainment game. In the words of Johnny Depp, never complain and never explain about the entertainment game, the business, whatever you want to call it. You're nothing but a vlogger. You say you're in it. So funny, these terms. What's a vlogger? A YouTuber. It's so funny when people place that label on you. It's just such a subtle little sign of disrespect and jealousy merged together. It's what they're trying to portray, that little, let me disrespect you, but what it's screaming is I'm so fucking jealous of you. YouTuber. Would you call Mr. Beast a YouTuber? Is that going to be his legacy? That's what the studios and the media companies, the networks, want you to think. Because they're losing relevancy every day. Everybody from Hollywood to mainstream media, the PR companies, the ad agencies, they're losing legitimacy, business every day. Because guys like me, with this platform and platforms like this, are basically doing the job of media companies with hundreds of employees. Okay? Old Mr. Beast, what's his name? Jimmy? Is that it? I want to say Jimmy. I don't know. If I got that totally wrong, hey, I'm 52. Shit, I can't remember things. Jimmy could take his iPhone right now and film a 10-minute video. No, I don't even, a 1-minute video about a product and sell more fucking units than if you went out and paid millions and millions of dollars to all these ad agencies and run fucking ads in the middle of the goddamn Super Bowl. So do you think corporate America, big business, likes that? No. YouTuber, blah, blah, blah. It just kills them. It just kills them that one dude with a camera can get more views and more airtime on a product than a fucking Super Bowl ad. If you're nothing but a vlogger. What the fuck's a vlogger? I have no idea what that is. E-begging YouTube tricks. Live streams for those super chats. I'm going to do more live streams there, my friend. In your honor. Membership offers. Yeah. Do you think that these videos make themselves? Do you think that maybe some of this stuff we're doing costs money? Do you think that maybe I got mouths to fucking feed? You ever stop to think about that? I'm not on vacation, Big Pimpin'. Single dad escaping to Thailand. The question that people never ask me is, why are you in the Philippines? Why do you spend so much time in the Philippines when you live in Thailand? and your logic doesn't fucking make sense. Do you realize I live in Angeles City? Do you realize that the partying and the chicks and that nightlife is cheaper over there? Well, the one big aspect of it is cheaper over there than it is here. So let me get this straight. It's like I'm living in Vegas and I want to go hit the blackjack tables. But instead, I get on a fucking flight to Macau to go play blackjack. Oh, you're just going to Macau because, you know, you're going to play blackjack. Meanwhile, you live in fucking Vegas. I know I'm not going to convince you of that. Let's face it, there's a lot of folks out there who are very small-minded, very narrow, small-minded, don't have a passport. I get it. A lot of my family are very small-minded. I mean, to them, just leaving the state, they can't do it. It's too stressful. It's just thinking too far outside the box. But like, for your comment, if I went back and had enough comments to do the Handsome Donkey Award, I would create the Tyrannosaurus Rex Award. And that's for a person who's got a big fucking mouth and a tiny fucking brain that just can't fucking think any further than their little hometown. I'd give you the T-Rex Award, man. Big fucking mouth, tiny brain. There you go. And I'll put a roar to it. Roar! Maybe I already created that and I just don't remember. So, thank you very much for your comment. You just gave me 10 minutes of content to talk about. Look, using them big words, content. All right, and I'm going to leave you with another comment from my friend, 83 years old. And I remember this too. What he's about to talk about. He says, I remember when the stores did not show any Christmas decorations or stuff to buy until the day after Thanksgiving. Everyone headed to the stores to see the lights, decorations that store staff had to spend their Thanksgiving putting up. Those were the days in the Sears Christmas catalog. Folks, I'm 52. And I remember the days where, no, you didn't see any Christmas decorations or anything. It was taboo to put it up until Thanksgiving was over. Now look, once Thanksgiving was over, I mean, you were off to the races. And then what happened, and even when I think back, if I think back, maybe it wasn't the day after, maybe it was like that next Monday, but I agree with him. It was taboo to put up any Christmas shit till Thanksgiving was clearly over. And then what happened? At least in America. It's the creep. It just kept creeping the day before, the day before, the day before. It just get every year more and more commercialized towards Christmas, and just started diluting the spirit of Thanksgiving. Now look, let's not get into the argument of what Thanksgiving technically represents. It's all about perception. Thanksgiving to me was just getting together with family, having a big meal, getting to see everybody, and you didn't have the stress of having to buy everybody presents. I really always enjoyed Thanksgiving when it came to getting together with the family versus doing the Christmas thing. It's just too damn stressful. But it's sort of like, I'm here in Thailand. It's sort of like Songkran, the water festival, where every year tourists come, they run around with the water guns, people throw water on each other. It seemed like every year people started jumping the gun a day early to where now it's over a week long. I mean, like 10 days before Songkran, you got to watch out people throwing water on your head walking down the street. It's just that creep. What happened with keeping the fucking parameters where the anticipation, just the excitement and the anticipation of waiting to see those Christmas decorations. Anyhow, that's my talk. Again, sometimes I just like to fire up this camera, talk about nothing in particular. I could probably do a daily show just talking about some of y'all's comments. Plenty of interesting stuff down in the comments. So thank y'all very much for leaving that stuff. Thank you very much, even to my T-Rex Award recipient. Just try to expand your way of thinking, man. Just try to expand your way of thinking. Don't be one of those that falls into thinking that if somebody travels to Vegas or they live in Vegas, that they're a gambling addict. That's just so small-minded. Believe it or not, there's a very small percentage of people in the overall population in Angeles City who ever go down to Walking Street. Okay, that's a small niche. And there are a plethora of people here in Pattaya who don't give a shit about the nightlife. They don't care about what tourists do. And there's a lot of tourists that don't come here just for the nightlife. It's just like saying everybody who goes to New Orleans is going to go down to Bourbon Street for Mardi Gras. It's just not reality. Okay? So no, I'm not here mongering. If I want to monger, I think that means chase women. I don't know. If I want to chase women, I can do that anywhere on planet Earth. I don't need to get on a plane and travel to be able to chase women. And oh, by the way, I live in Angeles City over there on my temporary deployment. I ain't got to come to Thailand. All I got to do is walk my ass down to Walking Street if I wanted to be in that environment. Fraud. What y'all think, folks? Leave your comments down below. Maybe I'll do another show tomorrow based on the comments off of this video. That's the joy of it. Every show compounds itself with your commentary. All right, I'm out of here. I gotta go in there and clean out my rice cooker. Get that thing ready for Thanksgiving dinner. Shrimp and vegetables with steamed broccoli. It's gonna be delicious. Peace out, my friends.